And this really is a sobering reminder. Every single one of those numbers we just told you about when it comes to deaths has a family, has friends, and in this specific story, has students. Marilyn Fauché and Julie Fauché Noel are mother and daughter. They are also teachers at Trinity Christian Academy. Marilyn and Julie died of COVID in the last week. Unbelievable story here. Haley Harrison, live at Trinity Christian with how the pair is being remembered now.
That's right, Lou. Both of them gave 2 decades of service to their church and their school. Marilyn and Julie, here at Trinity Christian Academy, they worked many jobs, but Senior Pastor Tom Messer tells me that their passion was working in the nursery. Now, Julie was also the preschool director. Trinity Baptist Church leaders say the women contracted the virus while on Thanksgiving break and did not return to campus. Julie Fauché Noel died this weekend, days after her mother, Marilyn Fauché. Now, there was no exposure to anyone else related to the church or school. Social media posts are now circulating remembering the 2 teachers for their kindness and dedication to hundreds of young children who spent time in the nursery and preschool.
They were very selfless individuals that saw it as their life mission to make kids' lives better by caring for them, loving them, and making even nursery an adventure. And they excelled at it. They couldn't have done it any better, and we're going to miss them greatly, not just for what they did, but for who they are.
Pastor Messer says this is a difficult time for Marilyn and Julie's family, and the community needs to continue wrapping their arms around them ahead of Christmas. Now, there's also a GoFundMe page that's being put together for the family members to help fund these funerals for both of the women. Live in Jacksonville, Haley Harrison, First Coast News, on your side.